power.
The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I lie down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water. Them him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I rasta, I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Unu prepare a table before I in the presence of my enemy them. Unu anointed I head with unu oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy. I go follow I all the days of I even. I go dwell in the house of the Lord God Jah. Kadamawe gromabe te la e. Igzag beer. Tanaista lina bashante shante 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 shante. Kadamawe gromabe. Where two and three meet in the name of the Most High Jah, and that's so Jaja there. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman go watch it in vain. Same way, if Jaja never build up them same house, the builder I go build it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. Yes. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Jah shall therein abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I give thanks and I says unto your name, King of kings and Lord of lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, Amasa Yahuda, Amasa Negusto Nogusto Danielam. Komaya Sataya. Aimana Pio Aya. Kadamawe Gromabi. Atela E. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukuchunemo, where we speak to power. And my name, Blakk Rasta. In every traditional African home there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different colors, shapes and sizes, and even aromas. Put aside all their differences, relocate into the black pot, be subjected to some amount of heating, and they produce this wonderful, sumptuous, nutritious food. Now, the very, very surprising thing is that the food does not even benefit the black pot, neither does it benefit the ingredients. It benefits us, the eaters. Yet every time, the corroborative effort, they corroborate all the differences, leave them aside, and come together with positivity and be able to produce food collaboratively. Now, the black pot represents the continent of Africa. And of course, the ingredients represent us. In fact, we must accept that we have differences. Yet we are ready to put aside all those differences, come together collaboratively to produce development for our people, our continent, our land. Differences of religion, creed, skin shade, and so on and so forth, we must shake off, so we can agree to disagree, to look into the next generation. This generation must be the tree planting generation, the generation that knows it will not live long enough to sit under the shade of these seedlings of trees that we are planting. Yet we are unperturbed because we know that generations to come will benefit from these trees, shades, and fruits. This is the black pot, aka Kukushunemo, and this is the Joshua generation. Generation of young people coming together collaboratively to inch on the power of Africa and the power of the next generation. This is live on Pan-African TV, and we are also live on Loud Silence TV. We are super live on Black Empire TV, our own TV, and of course, we are also live on Ghana Web TV. We are on YouTube, and our name is Black Empire Media. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube page. At the same time, you click on the notification button so that you will not miss any of the wonderful stories we bring out every day. We are also on other social media platforms. Our name is unique, Blakk Empire Media, and our numbers are also scrolling on your screens. Pick up the number, call us and do business with us. Do you have some information that is worthy putting out? We are ready to listen to you. This is the Blakk Fort, and my name, Blakk Rasta. Here we don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. We are rewiring the minds of our people. The mindset must be corrected for the average African. Now, if the mindset is corrected, we know that every other thing will be righted. Our leaders, a lot of them only think about roads, think about hospitals and schools, forgetting that the bigger roads and the schools and the hospitals must be built right in the mind. Remember at Independence, Nkrumah told us, hey, now that you have the independence, we have to change our attitudes, the mindset. This is the Blakk Fort. Now, the very first story we are looking at today is rolling on your screens. And watch what it says. It says, NPP about to lose 2024 elections unless, wow, who is saying this? Is he a prophet? 1 whole year to come. Somebody is already predicting that the party in government is going to lose. Who could this person be? Can we trust this person? This is the man. He is gray-bearded. He looks like a prophet. But is he a known prophet? Who is this man? And what does the story say? Come here. It says, let's do what Ghanaians want or lose 2024. NPP communicator wants. Oh, wow. So this is an NPP coordinator. And at the same time, he is a communicator. His name is Alhaji Abubakar Suleiman. I think I know this man. He's been a coordinating officer somewhere. Anyway, let's look at the story. It says, former National Nasara coordinator. Oh, okay, so I got it right. And member of the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP communication team, Alhaji Abubakar Laku Suleiman, has said that the party can only break the 8 when it changes its weights. And that's what Ghanaians want. The former National Nasara coordinator was speaking on CTV's Jabremu Monday, 20th March 2023. Alhaji Suleiman indicated that the grassroots are the ones at the receiving end of the country's current economic crisis. Bemoaning the current size of the government, he noted, now that we say we are suffering, look at the government appointments. We have said this several times that the appointment has to be cut down. He continued that when it happens, it is the grassroots that suffer. So I will plead with the president. I say this all the time. It's your brother who is the finance minister. Just recently, the MPs wanted him removed. You negotiated with them to hold on till the IMF deal is over. According to the former Nasara coordinator, the party must make changes and ensure that it does what Ghanaians want it to do. We can break the 8 when we do our things well. For now, things are going wrong. There is no opposition that wins election in any country. It's the government of the day that loses power to the opposition. We can win when we change our ways and do what Ghanaians want. We have seen it ourselves that where we are going, the road is narrow. If we joke, we will land in the water. He admonished. He noted that the president ought to be blamed for the country's current situation. Wow. And this is the president. Come here. And his name is what? Alhaji Abubakar Laku Suleiman. Powerful name. And he says, the man responsible for the crisis in the country is the president. He says that we say the country is going down economically, yet the president is still appointing more people and paying them. In other words, they are on the payroll of the strangulated economy. What a patriot. He's looking at the face of his president, the man who is paying him to communicate for the party. And he's telling himself that Ghana first is not about any parochial political party. If we continue in this direction, the party is going to drop in water. He just forgot to add hot boiling water. Listen, this is a president who does not listen to anybody. We were told long before that this was an arrogant man, and we took that for granted. We were told that this man was going to be the most arrogant president we're going to have. But we ignored all these warnings. And he pretended to be humble. We saw him sitting in the trotro with us, public transport, drinking calipo, and shaking our hands, embracing us. We thought that people just wanted to hang the dog by giving him a bad name. We ignored all the warnings and voted massively for him to become president. And when he became president, the mask dropped from his face and his true color came out. This is one of the worst presidents we have had. In fact, he is one of the most arrogant, self-centered presidents we have had. This is the president, yes, the same man who is building a cathedral. And that cathedral, Mr. President says by hook or crook, Ukraine or Russia, America or England, he will build that cathedral for God. He promised God that he was going to build him a cathedral. And that no matter what, if God gave him the opportunity to become president, he will build it. Well, he became president. As to whether it was God who made him the president of Satan, whether it was God or Satan, your guess is as good as mine. Sometimes some things come to pass and we think it's God, but it's actually from Satan. I believe it's Satan who made this man president. Because all of us are beginning to brood. We are seeing the unbridled galloping of corruption in this country. This is the president. He listens to nobody. His own party members came together, ganged up against him and asked him to take the major decisions to salvage the name of the party. But the arrogant and selfish president tells himself, oh, I wanted to be president, I've become president. It doesn't matter. Even when I live today, I can never be president again unless it's a coup d'etat. So I will mess it up for whoever is coming up next. Probably that's what he's saying to himself. When he wanted power, he pretended to be listening to everybody. He was the one going to the grassroots and begging us, literally, to give him power. Today he has the power, and we are seeing his true colors. His own party MPs approached him and told him, Mr. President, hey, the way things are going, if we are not careful, right after your tenure of office, we will not have the NPP party anymore. It would have been totally vanquished. Mr. President would not listen to them. They had to threaten the president and tell him, his own party MPs, it's never happened like that in the history of this country. At this magnitude, they told Mr. President, threatened him, had press conferences, threatening that if the president did not make changes and reduce the size of his elephantine government, gargantuan government, they would vote against him, or else the finance minister would come into the house and speak to an empty house. He called them, pleaded with them, the same full respect. Oh, I am a humble man. And when they accepted, now things are happening. Alhaji Abubakar Laku Suleiman has made it clear that all the problems we're going through, Mr. President is the one to blame. He's still appointing people. Alhaji Abubakar Laku Suleiman says that if this continues, and they have only one more year to go, they will land in deep waters. I can't wait to see them land in that deep water. I am fed up with this government. I don't want to see this government again. And again, our prayer is that the next government that comes should have the fear, genuine fear of God, should have humility, should have loyalty, patriotism, so that this country can heave a sigh of relief. This is the Blakk Voice, a.k.a. Kokoshonamo, where we speak truth to power. Come here. Now, the next thing I want to look at is scrolling on your screens. And watch me. It says what? National Cathedral. Stinking deals shocking. National Cathedral. Stinking deals shocking. Look at the National Cathedral. That is the artistic or the artist impression of this. It's not been built yet. They tried it. Ghanaians rose against it. The arrogant president said by hook or crook he will build it. After all, he made a promise to God that he will build it. Now, if you make a promise to God, let the money come from your own personal pocket. But he wanted to build Ghanaians, tax Ghanaians, like that dangerous dictator, bloodthirsty dictator, to build a house he claims is the house of God. We historians reminded him of the pyramid of Cheops. Cheops, who terrorized Egyptians to build a certain pyramid so that when he died, he will be buried in there. The Egyptians broke their back. They built the pyramid, the so-called pyramid of Cheops. But when he died, they asked the dead body, you forced us to build this, so we'll bury you in there. Go and bury yourself in there. You can only force a horse to the river, but can you force it to drink? They buried him in a different garbage dump and never in that pyramid. Come here. Nana Akufo-Addo wants to build this cathedral. He paid a lot of money from Ghanaian coffers to a certain Ghanaian British, whatever that means, I don't know. British Ghanaian architect by name Sir David Ajay, knighted by the Queen of England. He claims he's a Ghanaian. He came into the country and saw how the coffers were shrinking. In fact, how the coffers had shrunk, yet he had no mercy. He took the money from this dirty politician and dirty president and went out with the money and left us with this design. Now they only gave us a design. They are not able to build it anymore. God got very angry and struck us with COVID-19. It's because of this cathedral that God got so mad. He struck the whole world with COVID-19 so that it will not be built. After that, when COVID-19 was almost fading off due to the prayer and crying to the Almighty Father, they wanted to build this cathedral again, and he hit us with Satan. Satan dropped and went into the head of Putin. And Putin went all the way to Ukraine and started slaughtering people like goats. So the cathedral stalled. Yes, it stalled. But listen, we didn't want the cathedral to be built because we didn't have the money, one. And two, we had more priorities, better things to do with our money than this so-called cathedral. We have a number of buildings where we can go and worship God. We don't need this magnificent edifice. So, we didn't want to waste money. But it looks like, whilst the cathedral is sitting there unbuilt, it is still swallowing money. It's surprising, isn't it? Come, let's look at this properly. Run the story. It says, who signed this? Who signed this? Randy Abbey shocked at terms of National Cathedral contract. This is Randy Abbey. Which contract is he talking about? Renowned broadcaster Dr. Randy Abbey was shocked when he heard the terms of the contract signed for the construction of the National Cathedral of Ghana. Watch it. The detail of the supposed contract, which was shared by the Member of Parliament, as the MP for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, revealed that Ghana was accumulating huge debts even though the cathedral project had stalled. It means it had come to a standstill. That's the meaning. Speaking during a panel discussion on Metro TV's Good Morning Ghana program on Friday, monitored by Ghana Web, Ablakwa said that the government was still incurring debts even though the construction of the cathedral had been stalled for over a year. As the wait is going on, no work is going on at the site. It is coming at a cost to Ghanaians because in the contract, We will pay for aborting the reworks cost due to main contractor's suspension. Do you understand that? It means the contractors working on the cathedral. If any time the government of Ghana decides that we have to halt work on the cathedral, you will still pay in them for sleeping at home without working. That's what it means. Such a dirty precedent. We will also pay for standing time claims from the main contractor, extension time claims and cost implications. We will pay for all that in the contract, he said. The MP called on the government to abort the construction of the cathedral to avoid all the debts it was incurring. Reacting to the details given by Blakk, Dr. Randy Abbey, the host of Good Morning Ghana, questioned the rationale behind the signing of the contract. So, who signed this contract? I want to know the signatories. And as an astounded Dr. Abbey said, Blakk then gave a copy of the contract for the cathedral to Dr. Abbey for him to see who the signatories of the contracts were. So these three people signed. Number one, Paul Opoku Mensah, Executive Director of the National Cathedral of Ghana. Show me his photograph. Paul Opoku Mensah. That's him. But we all know this man. Oh, so he signed. Oh, wow. Number one, that's number one. And his name is Paul Opoku Mensah, Executive Director. Most, not even Reverend, most Reverend Asante Entry. He's the chairman of the board of trustees. Hey, chairman of the board of trustees. This is this man. Oh, but this man, I thought he died. Oh, you are. So that is what Nana Addo wants to do. He will sign all the dangerous contracts, die. After all, he's very old. It's not only old people who die. The Gombes have a saying, it's not, the people who die are not only the sick. Even if you are not sick, you can die. But the wickedness in their heads, Satan is already calling them to come home. They have done enough damage for Satan. So Satan is calling them home to reward them for the wickedness. These dirty politicians. Asante also signed that contract. A man of God. And above all, the king of all the demons. His name is Prophet Kusi Boateng, secretary to the board of trustees. That's the king of all the demons. Here he comes. Hail the king of hell. That's him. This is the man in court right now, praying the court to jail Samuel Okudzeto Blakk for disrespecting the courts. Yet we had an MP who stood in front of a judge and shouted and insulted people in front of the judge. At the end of the day, he won the day, carried it like a crown on his head, and is running around the place. Fire will burn all these people one after the other for their wickedness meted out to this kingdom. That's it. Prophet Kusi Boateng, secretary to the board of trustees, Dr. Abbey said after reading portions of the contract. Come here. So you see, the so-called men of God, both those who are in cassock and holding rosary, Holy Mary, Mother of God, full of grace, pray for us sinners. Amen. Those ones, and those who go, atukum, aye, they are all included. No wonder Archbishop Duncan Williams decided to excuse himself from this demonic thing. Yes, and the man in Bolga, the tall, handsome man. You know him, don't you? He himself has also decided that enough is enough. Reverend Eastwood Anaba. He knows that if he continues to sit on the board of this demonic cathedral, his name Eastwood will become Westwood. Or better still, Northwood. Think about it. The National Cathedral, as a sitting, is accumulating debt. We are crying that we don't have money to finance it. But the contractors have already signed a certain contract that whether we build or not, within this period, if the building project stalls or delays, and it's not because of us, you will pay us. So Ghana is accumulating debt. What a dangerous country. Posterity will judge these dirty people in government. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. If you love this nation, let me see one finger. If you love this nation and you want to see this nation grow, if you are ready to speak for the nation against any other person, it could be your family member, as long as they do not want the forward motion of this nation, let me see your finger. This is the Black Pot, aka Kokoshonamo. When we return, we have more. But I have a quote for you. Is it power that corrupts people? Or people rather corrupt power? Because when they don't have the power, we don't really see them to be that corrupt. The quote coming up next will explain. Hey! Wayo! This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. My name Blakk Rasta. Do me a favor. We have a YouTube channel and it's called Black Empire Media. Our Black is BLAKK. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the notification button. Let's grow the numbers so the message can reach all four corners of the earth. This is the Black Pot, the message of Africa, the message for the salvation of the black soul. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. Come here. Now the next story we want to look at is rolling on your screens. And remember, we are live on Pan-African TV, Africa's only Pan-African TV. Oh my God, the home of Pan-Africanism. We are also live on Loud Silence TV, live on Ghana Web TV, super live on Black Empire TV. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Black Stars coach sees why other Black Stars coaches failed. That's what we are telling you. Black Stars coach sees why other coaches failed. This is not a Ghanaian. We have always advocated that if we have homegrown coaches, it will help us. Because we have the benefit of understanding our own more. But no. The interesting thing is that every African footballer will never call himself successful if he doesn't play soccer in Europe. True? All of them, when you see them play, unlike in the days of Pele, Edson Arantes de Nascimento, a.k.a. Pele. In his days, he remained with the Brazilian team, played all his life to build up the new crop of Brazilian players. But here, no. The moment they have a little bit of shine, they are looking to play in anywhere in the world apart from Africa. They can play in Afghanistan, they don't care. They go and play in Israel, Some of them even play in Tahiti. Some of them play in countries that we have never heard. We don't know if they are new countries that just came up. And when you ask them, they are professional footballers. Yeah, they play outside the country. After all, we have demonized our own country. Now, apart from selling our players out prematurely, making them lose patriotism, our coaches are also disrespected. In the past, almost the last few Black Stars coaches died from some kind of disease or sickness, and those who are alive are presently terminally ill. The nation is not taking care of them. What kind of contracts did they sign? That, oh, you come and take your money and go away. The last one that we had, oh, Bobo. Bobo told the whole world that the nation owed him money, and he just wanted the money to be paid to him. But no, he's so sick, everybody has closed his eyes. We all remember DK Poison, David Cote Poison, who went out there and boxed, brought in some hard cash, and in the days of a champion, they took the dollars from him. Listen, the nation went to take dollars from one boxer who had won a fight somewhere in Japan. The money he was bringing home, the nation took the money from him to use as foreign exchange, to go and buy tinapa, canned fish, for Ghanaians. The story sounds so real, but that was what happened. I'm going to give you a photograph of DK Poison. He will come up. A photograph of Bobo would also show up. He's now very sick. The man who won us accolades. That Ghanaian coach. My brother, my sister, today he's sick. Some of our players who played in the national team, like Ali Jarrah, they are all sick. So what they do is, they don't want to sacrifice for the national team. All of them want to play abroad, make their money, and come and take control of their destinies. Today, my brother, my sister, we have a new Black Stars coach. This coach was part of the last one, Addo'S. He helped him. Or they helped each other and failed together. Now one part resigned, and they decided that this man will do a good job. One thing I like about this man is that he's patient. For a reason, he sat on the periphery and realized that this guy was going to fail. But he watched, and boom, he failed and resigned and went away. How could Addo'S have succeeded? He had one leg in Germany and one leg in Ghana. He wasn't ready to sacrifice his German job for his national team, a team that he had played for in his heydays. No, he loved his German identity so much so that no, he told the president point blank, I can handle the national team, but I'm not going to let go of my job in Germany. Patriotism thrown through the window. The problem we have in this country is that we don't reward talent and hard work. So a lot of our people realize that their talent would have to be rewarded elsewhere. So they naturally gravitate towards whoever will recognize that talent. Watch me now. This man here, called the Black Stars, we all supported him. One, because he's from our own home. Despite the fact that he speaks more German than Twi or Ga or any other local language. Because he spent so much of his time up there. He came and told us that, no, I'm half German and half Ghanaian. In fact, I'm more German than Ghanaian. The day he resigned, he was in Germany. As an assistant coach, whatever he was doing there, he's still there. He let us down flat. We, those who supported him, he let us down by some of his utterances. Now, Chris Hilton is here. And he's going to lead the Black Stars. But he's also beginning to see things. Watch this. You know Dan Kweku Yabua, right? That's him. He's a comedian. In fact, he is a born comedian. I love him. I've known this gentleman from Takoradi. From the days of Good News in Takoradi. He wanted to come and do sports. But the people there did not really see the talent until Peace FM took him up and he showed the whole world that, yes, he can do it. He's a natural comedian as well. Look, you could be as angry as Satan, he will make you laugh. And I respect him for that. He doesn't struggle to make people laugh. He has a segment on radio where he makes people laugh. He calls it Just for Laughs. You ain't their choice. Kweku Yabua warns Chris Hilton over absence of GFA big weeks at unveiling. This coach was unveiled a few days back, and accordingly, some big wigs of the Ghana Football Association refused to attend. Why? Kweku Yabua. Dan Kweku Yabua has the answer. Come here. A sports broadcaster Dan Kweku Yabua has said that the hierarchy of the Ghana Football Association has proven that Chris Hilton was not their choice for the Black Stars head coach position. Chris Hilton, on Monday, March 20, 2023, was unveiled as the new Black Stars coach at the SG Mall at Eyija, Kumasi, with only Henry Asante Chum and Alhaji Guruza as representatives from the GFA. Notable absentees of the ceremony were GFA President Ket Okreku, Vice President Mark Addo, Executive Council members, and Black Stars Management Committee members, with the exception of Alhaji Guruza. The absence of the big wigs at the unveiling of Chris Hilton, according to Dan Kweku Yabua, is a clear indication that the former Newcastle coach was not the choice of the GFA and that he should advise himself. Chris Hilton should advise himself because they, the GFA bigwigs, have given him the signal that he was not their choice. Because you can't tell me that we are unveiling a coach and he's only facing the press with the PRO of the FA. They are sending a signal to him, Chris Hilton, and he should advise himself. That Kweku Yabua said on Peace FM on Tuesday, March 21, 2023, as monitored by Ghana Web Sports. Chris Hilton's first assignment as Black Stars coach will be in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Angola at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi on Thursday, March 23, 2023. The Black Stars, after hosting Angola on March 23 in Kumasi, will travel to Luanda for the return leg encounter of the AFCON qualifiers on March 27, 2023. This is Chris Hilton. I call him Hilton. Others say, oh, don't say Hilton, say Hilton. I'm not used to the pronunciation of names like that. I'm more into the Kwamena, Kuntunkurunku, Laku Laku. Those names are easily pronounced. Come here. This is the man. He's called Chris Hilton. And I'm going to tell you why this man is going to succeed. Spiritually, I see that this is a man. Look at his posture. He's saying that, these people don't really like me. But I'm going to kill myself, work and grow this thing. And when I become indispensable, I will leave them. Look at his posture. He's saying, these people don't like me. Okay, but I will show them professionalism. I will do my everything and raise this team to the top. And when the people have grown to rely on me more, I will give them a juke, as we say in Jamaica, or a stab in the jugular vein. How many people agree with me? So what is this man saying? Watch what he says. Jesus have mercy. What is the headline? Watch it. He says what? I will give everything to make Black Stars successful. Chris Hilton. Did you see that coming? He said, Mudie, do whatever you want to do. But me, I will make sure that the team works. That's what he's saying. The Ghana Football Association, GFA, has officially unveiled Chris Hilton as the new coach of the Black Stars this morning, Monday, March 20, 2023 in Kumasi. And in Kumasi, that was where he told everybody that he will give his everything to make sure that it works. But Chris, I didn't like you coming to coach the Black Stars because I wanted a homegrown boy. We have been running out too much. Bring this, bring this, bring this, and we don't even have the money. Yet football is the passion of the nation. The last few laurels we brought into this country via football, they were all brought by our own homegrown coaches. But because of disrespectful behavior from these same people who do not want to give you any respect, the whole team crashed. But it is good for you. You know why it's good for you? These guys are no good. If Satan does not support you, you should be happy. I lie? If Satan does not support you, why should you cry? These were the same people who supported the other ones who failed. Why you want failed supporters? Think about it. Hey, now there are a group of people, whoever they support, those people fail. Then the people will say they will support you. And then you are angry. Say, Utrinkwa. And I can't say, Utrinkwa. Listen, listen. These were the same people who supported your predecessors who failed. So if today they say they will not support you, hallelujah, hallelujah. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodamo. I wanted to show you some photos. Are you ready with those pictures? This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodamo. When we return, trust me, we have more. Hey! Wayo!
Blakk Pot, Kukushodama.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodama, where we speak truth to power. Come here. Next story. And it's rolling on your screens. What does it say? Watch it. It says what? Remember, our numbers are scrolling on the screener. Pick up the numbers, call us, and tell us, what do you think about this show? You want to do business with us? What do you want to advertise? Come do business with us. We're waiting for you. Yes? And remember, we are also on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification button. This is Nana Addo's biggest mistake. Wow. Nana Addo's biggest mistake. He's made a lot of mistakes, some intentionally, some unintentionally. But which one is the biggest? Who knows that? Okay. If this man says that, then I might be tempted to say, well, I would like to hear what he has to say. This is Professor Ade. You know, some people call him Professor Ade. Akufo-Addo's government's biggest mistake is over-borrowing. And this is Professor Stephen Ade. Economist Stephen Ade has said over-borrowing is one of the biggest mistakes of the Akufo-Addo government. The former board chair of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, told journalists on the sidelines of the Signature Market pre-launch campaign at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi, that over-borrowing exacerbated the economic crisis. I think the biggest mistake they made is that they borrowed beyond our capacity to service it. If you are a country and you borrow beyond your capacity, you will be in trouble. Of course, COVID-19 came in and the Russia-Ukraine war too. But the reason why things got worse is because of these underlying mistakes they made and they must admit it. Professor Addo'S explained. He added, if not, they won't be going to IMF. If you are a government and you go broke, you renegotiate with your debtors. I think the debt restructuring will go through. We have to learn and not repeat our mistakes by going on a borrowing spree, he advised, noting we should become watchdogs. Now the leakages should be reduced. The level of corruption, the wastage from the government after government is high. So we don't get value for money. He stated. Dash it away. What the good old professor has said is nothing but the truth. Over borrowing, corruption, no value for money. That's it. Who created us? There's leadership crisis in Africa. The very few leaders who have common sense, they are removed, they are killed. Look what happened in Tanzania. Magufuli was eliminated. Look what happened in Burkina Faso a few years back. Sankara was removed. Many more wonderful leaders. I don't even want to go towards Kwame Nkrumah. And when they remove a good one, they plant their stooges in. And then they bait you with loans. So when the loans are coming in, you are happy because you are a fool, spending the money on yourself and blowing it all over the place. Before you realize, another idiot comes in with a gun, kills you, and sits down, and he supervises over another spree of borrowing. We don't love this country. Nah. We do not have people who love this country. Even our traditional proverbs. Abenejuma, Ocho, Onswa. The work of the government. Or government work. The work of your nation. You don't carry it on your head. You drag it on the floor. That's a proverb, and it's supposed to be wise. How can we be patriotic? How can it be? I mean, this is so sad. So year after year, we churn out unpatriotic people. People who are ready to fly to America and become patriots of America. They want to be Chinese patriots. Ghanaians and Africans who want to be Chinese and Japanese patriots. In no time, they have learned how to speak Chinese and Japanese. Yet their own mother tongue, they don't even know how to say good morning in that. Why? Why are you frustrating the African process like that? Such a wonderful continent. Great minds. Yet you have allowed discordant minds to come in and sow seeds of discord that the Bible will call tares. When the sower, remember the parable of Jesus Christ. The parable of the sower. He sowed the good crops. And when he went away, the enemy came back. And he started to sow tares. T-A-R-E-S. Bad crops. So what happened? The tares started to grow together with the good crops. And when the sower came in and saw it, he was mesmerized. But that parable said what? What do? You allow the good crop and the bad crop to grow together. Then you will see the difference. By their fruits, they shall be known. And when you get to know them by their fruits, what do? You cut them off. Koboko. The Bible says what? That every fruitless tree in this time must be hewn down. The RASTA is always quoting that. Every fruitless tree must be hewn down. Hewn down. English. Every fruitless tree must be hewn down. H-E-W-N. Must be cut down. My brother, my sister, are we ready to throw out the bad ones under the bus, even if they belong to us in the family? If the answer is yes, then we will go forward. If the answer is no, we will remain at the same place and sink. When a ship is sinking, what do? You try to seal the leakage. If you can't, what do? You throw excess baggage. It doesn't matter whether it is your baggage or the baggage of your family. You must just look at life first. Throw the baggage. That's why when a plane is about to crash, I don't know how many of you have flown. It's a luxury to fly in Africa. The pilots, the air hostesses would always tell you, in case of an emergency, please forget your baggage and forget any other thing and just save your life. So a plane will not be flying and about to crash and you hear someone say, hey, me bag yo, shoe fufra ma to here. Hey, Rade, ma koto eduane se me command me mouth. No! It's your life. Nobody thinks about baggage. It's only an idiot who will be asking the air hostess, how do I get my bag? When the plane is crashing. In these times, we need to throw the excess baggage under the bus and lighten up the nation so it can float. A lot of these bad guys have done nothing but collapse us and destroy us and retard us several years back. Prison is not enough. We have to excommunicate them to the land where they belong. Satan. Hell. This is the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushodamo, where we speak truth to power. The last story. And we'll call it a day. Watch the story. What does it say? Ghana Parliament saved from electricity disconnection. What a shame. What a shame. Electricity Company of Ghana, for some time now, has been suffocating. Everybody is blaming Electricity Company of Ghana. Oh, there's doomsaw here. You want the company to do well and provide electricity to everybody. Yet the resources you keep, you use the electricity you don't want to pay. Even our lawmakers, those who make the laws and tell us that by these laws we shall prosper as a nation, they are not abiding by it. Lawmakers. Today when I read about it, I broke down. Show me that thing about the parliament. This is the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. He's raised his hammer as if to say, don't disconnect us. But if you don't pay, you have to be disconnected. Parliament pays 8.5 million out of 13 million. Owed ECG to avoid disconnection. You continue enjoying the electricity, you think it's free lunch. Be responsible. Eh? What message are you sending to the people out there? You even want a new chamber with air conditioners fixed in there with jacuzzis and all that. Is it our great-grandfathers who died who are going to come and pay for the electricity? Why do you behave like that? And when you talk like this, they say contempt. They are calling you to come and apologize to them. Jokers. What is this nonsense? If you parliament, you are not paying. My grandmother who lives in Pasingpe and uses only one onion bulb, you expect her to pay. Leadership by example. To whom much is given, much is required. The nation should pay for that. You are making laws for the nation. There should be somebody who's checking it out. Have they paid for electricity? Have they paid for water? Everybody's in suit. A majority of all the MPs go and sit in that chamber and they wear their suit. And air conditioners are all there. Dancing and blowing fresh air. Who should pay for that? Ghosts who died several years ago. Please, let's be serious. Let us be serious. Leadership by example. If you have an irresponsible president who is overwhelmed with carelessness and overborrowing, Parliament should sit up and do the needful. Yes, everybody must pay. I, in my house, you know what I have? It's a prepaid meter. They should give Parliament a prepaid meter. So that if you don't pay, doom source happens there. That one will be responsible. My father will never give you a blank check. Because he will tell you a blank check can become Satan and jump into your mind. You will see somebody with big breasts and big butts, and when She passes her hands around your face. Sign. This is a blank check. Just sign. Just sign. Before you realize you are in jail. Dash it away. So they paid just a little above half. And they didn't disconnect. Electricity company, thank you so much. I know you're going through hell. We have irresponsible people who use electricity and don't want to pay. Illegal connection and all that. I sympathize with you. If you live in a country where people have no common sense, this is what happens. You use the thing. You don't want to pay for it. Are you mad? Hey, I'm done. Thank you. This is the Blakk Port, a.k.a. Kukushonamo. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Hey! Wayo!